Still beside you. That's what I picture when I think of time. Not grand scenes, not dramatic promises, just two chairs closer than before. Two hands that have learned the shape of each other. The years don't scare me anymore. They move, but we don't drift, we stay. I've stopped fearing what aging means. It isn't distance, it isn't fading light. It's softer mornings, slower conversations, and a comfort that doesn't rush to prove itself. We don't love like we did at the beginning. We love with more patience now, with less noise, with steadier breath, and somehow that feels deeper. Time changes faces, but it doesn't have to change closeness. Still beside you as seasons turn. Still beside you as lessons are learned. No matter the years, no matter the pace, I'm still beside you. We've seen versions of each other that no one else has. The tired days, the quiet doubts, the moments when confidence felt thin. And we didn't leave, we adjusted, we listened. Love didn't panic under pressure. It steadied itself, the steadiness is what stays. Staying close is a choice made gently. Still beside you when the mirror shifts. Still beside you through small life drifts. We don't outrun time, we walk with it. There was a phase when everything felt urgent. Plans stack high, dreams loud and bright. Now urgency softened into intention. We don't need a rush to prove devotion. It shows up in ordinary gestures, in how we remember preferences, in how we pause before reacting, in how we protect each other's quiet. That's a kind of closeness that survives years. Depth isn't loud, it accumulates. Three, still beside you when laughter changes tone. Still beside you when silver threads are shown. The years can pass, I'm not going anywhere. We don't promise forever in dramatic ways. We live it daily, in shared routines, in shared silence, in shared understanding that grows steadier. Love doesn't freeze time, it walks through it, and walking together matters more than staying young. Growing older can mean growing closer. Still beside you as days turn slow. Still beside you where we both grow. Not chasing youth, just choosing us. There's comfort in the way we've changed. The sharper edges soften, the louder reactions eased. We've learned each other's rhythms, learned when to hold on and when to give space. Time didn't weaken affection, it refined it, made it quieter but stronger. Refined love rests deeper. Still beside you through calm and doubt. Still beside you when plans work out. No season too long, no year too wide. And if one day we move slower, if our steps need patience, I hope we remember this, that closeness was never about speed. It was about presence, about showing up again and again without demanding perfection. Time may reshape everything else, but it won't rewrite what we chose. Chosen love endures, still beside you, always near, still beside you, year by year. Let time move on, we remain. We don't need to stay the same to stay together. Change can happen gently when hands stay linked. Still beside you, through every age, through every page. So when the mirror changes and seasons shift their tone, I won't measure love by youth, I'll measure it by this, that after all the years, after all the changes, I'm still beside you. Aging softly together, that's the kind of future I imagine. Not rushing against time, not pretending it isn't moving, but letting it pass around us like evening light across familiar walls. I don't need you to stay, I just need your presence to remain steady beside mine. We don't look at the calendar with fear anymore. Birthdays feel quieter now, less about counting years and more about noticing growth. The way we speak more gently, the way we react less sharply, the way we've learned that winning arguments means less than keeping connection intact. Time hasn't stolen anything essential, it has revealed what truly matters. Growing older doesn't mean growing apart. Aging softly together, hand in hand, aging softly together, we understand that love doesn't fade, it settles deeper. There was a season when everything felt urgent, plans had to be made quickly, dreams had to be chased loudly, but urgency softened into intention. We don't hurry affection anymore, we let it breathe, we let conversations unfold fully, we let silence rest without filling it. That softness feels stronger than intensity ever did. Strength doesn't always look loud, sometimes it looks patient. Aging softly together through shifting days, aging softly together in quiet ways, not resisting change, just walking through it. We've seen each other tired, unfiltered, uncertain. We've seen doubts flicker and confidence thin, and instead of stepping away, we lean closer. Love didn't demand perfection, it asked for presence. Presence became our anchor, and anchors don't shine brightly, they hold steadily. Holding on is often silent. Aging softly together, year by year, aging softly together, still right here. The spark may shift, the warmth remains. Oh, we don't compare ourselves to who we used to be. We don't measure love by the speed of our steps. We measure it by how often we return to each other after long days, by how naturally our hands find each other without looking. Time has changed details, but not direction. Direction matters more than speed. Aging softly together through common doubt. Aging softly together as life works out. No race against years, just steady closeness. There's something beautiful about loving without urgency. We don't need dramatic promises to feel secure. Security lies in consistency and how we show up daily, even when days feel ordinary. Ordinary has become sacred because it repeats, and repetition builds life. Depth accumulates through time. Aging softly together, letting time flow. Aging softly together, letting affection grow. Not louder, just deeper. The mirror may change its reflection, but it cannot reflect everything. It cannot show the private jokes, the shared glances, the unspoken understanding. It cannot measure how many times we chose patience over pride. Those invisible choices are what time cannot erase. They build something that wrinkles cannot touch. What is tended endures. Aging softly together through every stage. Aging softly together, turning each page not younger, just wiser in love. And if someday our steps slow, if energy shifts and quiet becomes more frequent, I hope we remember that closeness was never about speed. It was about staying present, about listening carefully, about choosing kindness even when tired. Time may shape our faces, but it cannot reshape the promises we live daily. Daily promises create lasting love. Aging softly together, always near. Aging softly together, year after year. Let time move gently. We remain. We don't need to stay unchanged to stay connected. Change can happen slowly when hearts stay open. Aging softly together. So let the years arrive, let seasons shift their tone. We don't need to hold them back as long as we keep choosing to sit a little closer, to speak a little softer, to stay a little longer. Aging will never feel like loss, it will feel like growing softer together. Closer through the years, that's how I understand love now. Not brighter, not louder, but nearer. The distance between us didn't grow with time. It softened like two paths that once ran parallel, slowly leaning inward until walking apart no longer made sense. In the beginning, everything felt wide, space to impress space to misunderstand, space to guess what the other meant. But time narrowed that space, not into confinement, but into familiarity. I no longer wonder how you react. I've learned your pauses, your silences, the subtle shift in your tone. When something matters, closeness didn't arrive all at once. It accumulated quietly. Time doesn't automatically bring distance. Sometimes it brings understanding. We grow closer through the years, not farther away. We grow closer through the years in ordinary ways. No need for grand declarations. We lean in and stay. We've had conversations that changed how we listen. Moments when pride had to soften, moments when apology meant more than being right. Each of those moments brought us closer, not because they were easy, but because we chose to remain open. Closeness isn't built on perfection, it's built on patience. Patience is love, slow down. We grow closer through the years. When seasons shift, we grow closer through the years. As priorities drift, not losing direction, just refining it. There were days when we misunderstood each other, days when silence felt heavy, but even in those spaces something steady held us. We didn't let small distances become permanent ones. We returned, and every return shortened the space between us. Love didn't rush to fix everything, it allowed growth to happen without fear. Returning builds depth. We grow closer through the years, year by year. We grow closer through the years, still right here. The spark may shift, the bond strengthens. Time revealed the way you think before you speak. It revealed how I withdraw when I need quiet. We learned each other's rhythms, not to control them, but to respect them. Respect replaced assumption, and respect drew us nearer than excitement ever could. Respect sustains what passion begins. We grow closer through the years as voices calm. We grow closer through the years, through every storm, not louder, just steadier. There's beauty in how ordinary our closeness feels now. It doesn't need spectacle, it doesn't need proof. It lives in daily gestures, in how we check in how we make space, in how we forgive quickly. Those gestures seem small, but they gather weight over time, and weight when balanced grounds love. Grounded love lasts longer. We grow closer through the years without forcing it. We grow closer through the years without chasing it. Closeness unfolds naturally. The mirror may reflect change, but it cannot reflect history. It cannot show the shared laughter that still surprises us. It cannot show how easily our hands find each other without thought. Those invisible habits tell a deeper story, a story of proximity that time failed to habits of care become an intimacy. We grow closer through the years as decades pass. We grow closer through the years, no matter how how fast, not younger, just more aligned. And if someday our steps slow, if our voices soften further, I hope we notice how near we've become. No dramatic climax, no final declaration, just two people who kept choosing to close the gap. Whenever it appeared that choice repeated became closeness of repeated choice creates permanence. We grow closer through the years, always near. We grow closer through the years without fear. Let time keep moving. We remain. Closeness doesn't resist change. It adapts, and in adapting it deepens. Closer through the years, through every phase, through every age. So let the seasons turn, let time write its marks. We don't need to stay the same to stay near, because with every passing year, with every lesson learned, with every quiet return, we have only moved closer. Lines on our hands, I never used to notice them before. They were just there, quiet, unnoticed, like time itself. But now I see them differently. They don't look like signs of aging. They look like maps, routes we've walked, paths we've chosen, moments we've held a little longer than necessary. Your hands feel more familiar now than they did years ago. Not because they haven't changed, but because they've learned how to hold mine without hesitation. We don't grip tightly anymore, we rest. Resting doesn't mean weakness, it means trust. And trust has grown quietly between the lines of our palms, in the space where skin meets skin without needing proof. Time may leave marks, but it also leaves memory. There are lines on our hands, but none between us. There are lines on our hands, but closeness remains. Let time write softly, we're still aligned. Everything felt new, your touch startled me then. Electric, unfamiliar now, it feels steady, confident, the kind of touch that says I know you. Without speaking, we've held each other through uncertainty, through excitement, through ordinary days that asked nothing special. Each time we reached out, we chose connection over distance. Reaching again builds permanence. There are lines on our hands, formed by the years. There are lines on our hands, but no space for fear. We don't resist time, we grow within it. We've learned each other's rhythms, like familiar patterns. The way you pause before speaking when something matters. The way I look away briefly when I'm thinking. These small recognitions feel more intimate than grand gestures. They're woven into daily life, and daily life, when shared long enough, becomes sacred. Sacred things often look ordinary. There are lines on our hands and stories in our skin. There are lines on our hands where patience has been not young. steadier now. The mirror reflects change. It shows subtle differences year by year, but it doesn't reflect how many times we chose understanding over pride. It doesn't show how often we returned after small misunderstandings. Those invisible decisions matter more than appearance. They are the real marks of time. Invisible choices shape visible love. There are lines on our hands, but warmth remains. There are lines on our hands, and nothing has changed about how we reach for each other. Growing older doesn't feel like loss when we grow in the same direction. We don't race against years, we walk beside them. Each season leaves something behind, a lesson, a softer reaction, a calmer understanding. And those lessons settle into us quietly, making love less reactive, more intentional. Intentional love lasts longer. There are lines on our hands, but warmth remains. There are lines on our hands, and nothing has changed about how we reach for each other. Sometimes I look at our hands resting side by side and think about how many times they've found each other without needing to search. That habit of reaching feels deeper than passion. It feels like instinct, instinct born from repetition, from shared years, from choosing closeness even when life felt busy. Habit becomes intimacy when built with care. There are lines on our hands, but no fading touch. There are lines on our hands, and we've grown this much. Not fragile, just refined. And if one day our steps slow further, if our hands tremble slightly with age, I hope we still reach instinctively. Because closeness was never about smooth skin or quick movements. It was about intention, about saying I am still here without needing dramatic proof. Time may redraw our hands, but it won't redraw our decision to remain here. Chosen closeness outlives appearance. There are lines on our hands, but none in our hearts. There are lines on our hands, and we haven't grown apart. Let years unfold, we stay aligned. Let time leave its traces, we won't erase them. They are evidence of having stayed. Lines on our hands, still holding, still warm. So when I see those subtle marks, I don't think of aging. I think of all the days we chose to reach for each other instead of turning away. Time has written its lines, but we have written something deeper. We have written closeness.
I thought time would test us. I thought it would create space when none existed before. But instead it carved out room for understanding. We learned each other's habits, learned how moods shift, learned how silence can mean rest instead of distance. Time didn't stretch the gap between us.
It filled it with memory. Memory doesn't push people apart, it weaves them closer. Time doesn't distance us, it deepens the sound of laughter shared when no one's around. Time doesn't distance us, it teaches us how to stay.
There were days when life felt crowded, work, responsibilities, unexpected worries, moments when conversation shortened because energy ran thin. But even in those stretches, something steady remained. We didn't drift silently, we checked in. A small touch on the shoulder, a quiet "are you okay?" That was enough to shorten any distance. Distance grows where attention fades, ours never did. Time doesn't distance us when seasons shift.
Time doesn't distance us through every drift. We don't resist change, we adjust together.
I used to think closeness meant intensity, long talks, late nights, constant reassurance. But closeness matured, it learned to exist in fewer words. It learned that simply sitting side by side can say more than dramatic declarations. Time didn't cool affection, it refined it, made it less reactive, more resilient. Resilient love doesn't depend on noise. Time doesn't distance us, strengthens the thread that ties quiet mornings to words unsaid. Time doesn't distance us, it steadies our ground. We've seen each other in different seasons, ambitious phases, uncertain stretches, calmer chapters. Each version felt real, and instead of longing for who we used to be, we welcomed who we were becoming. That welcoming closed any gap before it could widen. Acceptance, bridges change. Time doesn't distance us as years pass by. Time doesn't distance us, we don't ask why, we simply stay and let it move. Growing older together means collecting quiet victories. Arguments resolve, misunderstandings soften. Moments when we chose patience instead of pride. Those small decisions carry more weight than grand gestures ever could. Time recorded them silently, and they became our foundation. Foundations hold when storms arise. Time doesn't distance us, it builds the floor where we can stand without wanting more. Time doesn't distance us, it steadies the room. Sometimes I look at how naturally our lives intertwine now. Shared routines, shared references, shared glances that require no explanation. None of that happened overnight, it gathered layer by layer. And with each layer the space between us grew smaller, not larger. Layers of care become intimacy. Time doesn't distance us, it keeps us stay. Time doesn't distance us, it makes love bold in quieter ways. And if someday our pace slows further,
is not threatened by time when it is chosen daily. We don't fear the years, we walk with them side by side without stepping away. Chosen presence outlast passing seasons. Time doesn't distance us, it keeps us near. Time doesn't distance us. Year after bold inquiry, we remain. We don't need to freeze moments to stay connected. Connection lives in how we keep returning. Time doesn't distance us, it deepens us. So let the years draw their lines, let seasons change their light. We don't stand apart watching time pass, we stand together inside it. And as long as we keep choosing to close the space between us, time will never create distance, it will only remind us how long we have stayed. Familiar after time, that's what we've become. Not predictable in a dull way, but recognizable in a comforting one. Like a melody you've heard for years and still choose to replay. Nothing here feels surprising anymore, yet nothing feels taken for granted. Time didn't erase wonder, it transformed it into trust. In the beginning, everything was discovery. We learned each other's favorite songs, favorite food, favorite ways to rest. Now discovery looks different. It's quieter, it's noticing how your voice softens when you're tired. It's knowing when to sit beside you without asking what's wrong. Familiarity didn't reduce affection, it refined it. We're familiar after time, yet closer than before. We're familiar after time, and I don't need more. No chasing novelty, this comfort is enough. There was a phase when excitement felt like the center of everything. Late night talks, unexpected plans, moments that felt electric, but electricity softened into warmth, and warmth stayed longer. We don't need sparks to reassure us anymore. We rely on consistency, on how we greet each other at the end of long days, with the same steady tone. Consistency is love without performance. We're familiar after time, through changing light. We're familiar after time, through every night. Not fading, just steady. I know the rhythm of your silence now, it doesn't intimidate me. I know when you need space and when you need presence. Those understandings didn't arrive instantly, they gathered through years of listening, and listening is what made us closer. Not louder love, not bigger gestures, just attention. Attention builds intimacy slowly. We're familiar after time, year by year. We're familiar after time, still right here. The excitement may shift, the bond deepens. We don't surprise each other often now, but we don't need a predictability here. Doesn't feel boring, it feels safe. Safe enough to be honest, safe enough to admit fear, safe enough to rest without explanation. Time built that safety, brick by brick, in quiet days no one else noticed. Safety makes closeness sustainable. We're familiar after time, through calm and doubt. We're familiar after time, as life works out. Not dramatic, just devoted. natural our closeness feels now. We don't rehearse affection, we don't exaggerate care. It flows through routines, through shared meals, shared responsibilities, shared pauses. Time didn't cool our connection, it made it less fragile, less reactive, more patient. Patience strengthens what excitement begins. We're familiar after time, and I feel secure. We're familiar after time, and I feel sure. No distance growing, only depth when I look at us now. I don't see two people clinging to youth, I see two people comfortable in evolution. We don't compete with who we used to be, we appreciate who we've become. Familiarity didn't trap us, it freed us from constant proving. And that freedom feels lighter than novelty ever did. Freedom within closeness is rare. We're familiar after time, and I feel secure. We're familiar after time, and I feel sure. No distance growing, only depth when I look at us now. I don't see two people clinging to youth, I see two people comfortable in evolution. We don't compete with who we used to be, we appreciate who we've become. Familiarity didn't trap us, it freed us from constant proving. And that freedom feels lighter than novelty ever did. Freedom within closeness is rare. We're familiar after time, and I feel secure. We're familiar after time, steady and bold in quieter ways. And if one day our steps slow further, if the world feels louder than we do, I hope we still recognize the comfort in each other's presence. Because familiarity isn't the loss of mystery, it's the gain of understanding. Time may change details, but it won't undo the habit of returning to the same shared space. Returning creates permanence. We're familiar after time, always near. We're familiar after time, year after year. Let seasons turn, we remain. We don't need to reinvent love to keep it alive. Sometimes letting it mature is enough. Familiar after continue. Let change arrive gently, we won't resist it, because what we've built isn't fragile, it's familiar. And in that familiarity we found a closeness that doesn't fade, it deepens. Holding on, holding close, not out of fear, not out of habit, but out of quiet intention. There's a difference between clinging and choosing to stay near. We've learned that difference slowly through years that softened us. Time didn't teach us to grip tighter, it taught us how to hold gently. In the beginning, holding on felt urgent, like if we loosened our hands even slightly, distance would rush in. But love matured, it showed us that closeness doesn't require attention, it requires presence. Now when we hold each other, it feels steady, not desperate, not afraid, just certain. Certainty grows when love is practiced daily. We're holding on, holding close, the seasons pass by. we've seen each other in moments of doubt, when confidence flickered, when plans shifted unexpectedly. And instead of pulling away, we leaned in. Holding on didn't mean ignoring change, it meant facing it together. Time introduced new challenges, new responsibilities, new quiet adjustments, but none of them pushed us apart. Shared challenges can shorten distance. We're holding on, holding close through calm and storm. We're holding on, holding close, keeping connection warm, not resisting time, just walking through it. There were phases when life demanded more attention than love did. Busy schedules, long days, energy stretched thin. But even then we didn't let silence stretch too far. A glance across the room, a small touch on the back, a quiet reminder I'm still here. Those moments were stronger than grand gestures. Small reassurances build lasting trust. We're holding on, holding close year after year. We're holding on, holding close, still right here. Time can move, we remain. Holding on now feels different than it used to. It feels lighter, more intentional. We don't grip tightly out of fear, we stay close because we want to. That one has matured, it's no longer loud or urgent. It's steady like a rhythm that continues even when the music softens. Steady rhythms outlast loud beginnings. We're holding on, holding close as years unfold. We're holding on, holding close, not young, just bold. In quieter ways, time has changed details, faces shift subtly, energy moves differently, but something underneath remains consistent. The way we reach for each other without thinking, the way we soften our tone when something matters, the way we choose understanding over pride. Those habits are our version of holding on. Habits of care become devotion. We're holding on, holding close without force or strain. We're holding on, holding close through joy and pain. No drifting apart, just drawing near. Just drawing near. I don't fear growing older with you. I don't fear slower steps or quieter evenings, because blessedness was never about speed or spectacle. It was about consistency, about showing up even when tired, about staying engaged even when excitement shifts. That kind of holding on doesn't weaken with age, it steadies. Consistency strengthens where passion begins. We're holding on, holding close as decades pass. We're holding on, holding close, letting moments last, not chasing youth, just choosing us. And if someday our hands tremble slightly with time, I hope we still reach instinctively, not because we're afraid of losing, but because closeness became natural. Holding on won't feel heavy, it will feel familiar, a gentle reminder that through every shift, through every year, we remained alive. Aligned hearts don't drift easily. We're holding repetition, holding on, holding close through every age. So let the seasons change their tone, let time redraw its lines. We won't resist it, we won't fear it, because what we hold is not fragile. It is chosen, and chosen love doesn't slip away. It stays close. Seasons change without asking. Light shifts, air cools and warms again. Leaves fall quietly, then return in different shades. We've watched it happen year after year, and somehow, in the middle of all that change, there we are, still the same us. In spring, we felt new, everything looked possible. We spoke quickly, laughed loudly, dreamed without hesitation. In summer, love felt bright, long conversations, warm evenings, energy that didn't seem to end. We thought that intensity was the core of everything, but seasons kept moving and we moved with them. Change doesn't erase us, it reshapes how we stand together. Through seasons, same us, different skies above. Through seasons, same us, steady in love. The colors may shift, but we remain. Autumn brought softness, we learned to slow down, conversations deepen. We noticed details we once rushed past. What once felt urgent felt less necessary. We began choosing calm over constant excitement. Closeness didn't fade with that shift, it matured like trees shedding leaves without losing their roots. Roots grow deeper when winds arrive. Through seasons, same us, year by year. Through seasons, same us, still right here, not resisting change, just living inside it. Winter brought quiet, not emptiness, but stillness. Evenings felt slower, we spent more time simply sitting together. There were fewer dramatic moments, but more understanding. Silence stopped feeling uncertain, it became restful. Time didn't cool affection, it clarified it. Stillness can strengthen when noise once carried. Through seasons, same us, even when light fades. Through seasons, same us in ordinary days. No drifting apart, just standing closer. We've changed in small ways, habits adjusted, Priorities shifted, energy moved differently, but the way we reach for each other hasn't changed. The way we soften our voices when something matters hasn't changed. The way we return after disagreement hasn't changed. Returning builds continuity. Through seasons, same us. Through calm and doubt, through seasons, same us. As life works out, not chasing youth, just choosing closeness. We don't compare this season to the ones before it. We don't long for endless summer or fear the quiet of winter. Each chapter holds something necessary, and in each chapter we've remained aligned. Time doesn't demand sameness, it asks for flexibility, and flexibility has brought us nearer, not farther. Flexibility sustains what rigidity breaks. Through seasons, same us, not unchanged but united. Through seasons, same us, steady and guided by quiet intention. Sometimes I think about how many times we could have drifted. Small misunderstandings, busy months, personal growth pulling in new directions. But we kept adjusting, kept listening, kept choosing not to let seasons become separation. And that choice repeated became the foundation beneath every shift. Repeated choice creates permanence. Through seasons, same us, days near. Through seasons, same us, year after year. Let weather shift, we remain. We don't need to freeze a moment to keep love alive. We let it evolve and evolve with it. Seasons change. Return in new colors. We won't fear the shift, because through every season that passed quietly over us, we never stopped being us. Gentle through the years, that's how I hope we remain. Not loud, not hurried, not trying to prove we still feel the same. Just softer in tone, steadier in presence, calmer in the way we choose to stay. In the early days, love felt bright and urgent. Every word carried weight, every silence felt risky. But time reshaped our rhythm. Silence no longer feels uncertain. It feels shared, we don't rush to fill it. We let it rest between us like something trusted. Gentleness arrives slowly, not as a loss of fire, but as a refinement of it. Refined love doesn't need a shout. We're gentle through the years, steadier than before. We're gentle through the years, and I don't need more, no sharp edges left, just warm. We've seen each other tired, stressed, uncertain. There were moments moments when pride could have taken over, but instead we softened. We chose patience over reaction, understanding over defense. Those choices didn't happen instantly, formed through repetition, and repetition turned into trust. Trust grows in quiet consistency. We're gentle through the years as seasons shift. We're gentle through the years as priorities drift, not losing closeness, just deepening it. And gentleness now means listening carefully even when we disagree. It means lowering our voices instead of raising them. It means remembering that connection matters more than being right. Time taught us that lesson without speaking directly. It simply showed us what lasted and what didn't. What lasted really hard. We're gentle through the years, year after year. We're gentle through the years, still right here. No need for drama, just devotion. Growing older together doesn't feel like something fading. It feels like something settling. We don't chase intensity the way we once did. We appreciate stability. We value calm even in predictable routines. Shared glances that say enough. Gentleness isn't the absence of passion, it's passion that has learned control. Controlled warmth burns longer. We're gentle through the years, through calm and doubt. We're gentle through the years as life works out. No rushing ahead, just staying near. Time has changed our pace. We don't react as quickly. We don't argue as sharply. We don't demand constant reassurance. Instead, we check in quietly. We ask how the other feels. We notice small shifts in mood. Those small observations carry more intimacy than grand declarations ever did. Intimacy grows in careful attention. We're gentle through the years, letting change arrive. We're gentle through the years, keeping warmth alive. Not younger, just wiser in love. Sometimes I think about how easy it would have been to let impatience grow, to let misunderstandings widen. But gentleness interrupted that path. It asked us to pause, to breathe, to remember what mattered. And because we paused, because we softened, distance never had room to expand. Soft responses, short in space. We're gentle through the years as decades unfold. We're gentle through the years, steadier and bold in quieter tones. That absurd. Sometimes I think about how easy it would have been to let impatience grow, to let misunderstandings widen. We're gentle with silver, just stay. Stay gentle through, steady, soft, still here. So let the years continue, let seasons shift their light. We won't chase the past or resist the present. We'll simply grow softer where it matters most, and in that softness we will stay close. face my home. I didn't understand that phrase before. Home used to mean a place, a room, a familiar street. But somewhere along the years it shifted. Now home feels like recognition, like looking at you and knowing I don't have to prepare myself to belong. I've watched your expressions change over time, the way your smile soften, the way your eyes carry more stories now. There are subtle lines where laughter settled, and instead of fearing them, I feel grateful. Each one holds memory, moments we share, conversations that matter, silences that heal. Your face didn't grow older to me, it grew familiar. Familiarity can feel like shelter. Your face, my home, where I can rest. Your face, my home, no need to impress. Time may shift its light, but I stay. In the beginning, I memorized your features like something fragile, as if I needed to hold on to every detail. But now I don't memorize, I recognize. Recognition feels calmer, I don't fear forgetting, because closeness is no longer about precision, it's about presence. Presence makes memory steady. Your face, my home, through changing years. Your face, my home, through quiet fears. No distance inside, just nearness. We've seen each other in bright moments and in tired ones, in confidence and in doubt, and somehow each version felt real. We didn't turn away from change, we adjusted our understanding, and that adjustment closed the space before it could widen. Understanding shortens distance. Your face, my home, year after year. Your face, my home, still right here. The mirror may change, my choice won't. Growing old together means witnessing transformation. Without panic, it means noticing new lines. Without mourning old ones, it means recognizing that love is not anchored to youth, it's anchored to attention. And attention is only deepened. Deepened attention feels like safety. Your face, my home, through calm and doubt. Your face, my home, as life works out. Not clinging to the past, just staying present. Growing older together means witnessing transformation. Without panic, it means noticing new lines. Without mourning old ones, it means recognizing that love is not anchored to youth, it's anchored to attention. And attention is only deepened. Deepened attention feels like safety. Your face, my home, through calm and doubt. Your face, my home, as life works out. Not clinging to the past, just staying present. There's something quiet about coming home after long days. Something unspoken about sitting near you without needing explanation. Your presence steadies me in ways no room ever could, and that steadiness has grown stronger with every passing year, where the meaning builds permanence. Your face, my home, letting seasons turn. Your face, my home, with lessons learned. No fear of time, just trust. I don't measure love by how unchanged measure it by how gently we adapt, the way we still soften when the other is tired, the way we still lean closer instead of stepping back. Time hasn't created distance, it has layered meaning, built permanence. Your face, my home, letting seasons turn. Your face, my home, with lessons learned. No fear of time, just trust. I don't measure love by how unchanged we remain. I measure it by how gently we adapt, the way we still soften when the other is tired, the way we still lean closer instead of stepping back. Time hasn't created distance, it has laid meaning, edge meaning, beats, hatings. Your face, my home, letting seasons turn. Your face, my home, with lessons learned. No fear of time, just trust. I don't measure love by how unchanged we remain. I measure it by how gently we adapt, the way we still soften when the other is tired, the way we still lean closer instead of stepping back. Time hasn't created distance, it has layers meaning. Just deeper, that's how I see us now. Time didn't return us to where we began. It carried us forward, layer by layer, into something quieter, more grounded, more certain. We're not chasing who we were, we're appreciating who we've become. In the early days, love felt quick and bright. We spoke fast, laughed loud, planned without hesitation. There was beauty in that urgency, but urgency softened. What replaced it was something steadier. We no longer rush to prove affection. We let it show through consistency, through how we remain when moods shift. Death doesn't arrive instantly, it forms through repetition. We're not younger, just deeper, closer than before. We're not younger, just deeper, and I don't need more time, move forward. So did we. There were seasons when change felt intimidating, new responsibilities, new worries, new adjustments. But instead of drifting apart, we leaned closer. We didn't freeze time, we adapted with it. Adaptation didn't weaken us, it refined us. Each challenge shortened the space between our understanding. Shared growth builds alignment. We're not younger, just deeper, through shifting days. We're not younger, just deeper, in quieter ways, not louder, just steadier. I've noticed how we speak now, more patient, less reactive. We don't argue to win, we pause to understand. That pause is something youth rarely values, but time taught us that pausing prevents distance, and preventing distance matters more than proving a point. Wisdom often sounds softer. We're not younger, just deeper. Year after year, we're not younger, just deeper. Still right here, no fear of change, just trust. We don't compare ourselves to old photographs. We don't wish for earlier versions of our energy. We recognize that depth requires time. The way we look at each other now holds more memory, more forgiveness, more quiet reassurance that look couldn't have existed without years behind it. Memory adds weight to love. We're not younger, just deeper. Through calm and doubt, we're not younger, just deeper. As life works out, not rushing ahead, just staying near. Time has reshaped our expectations. We don't demand perfection. We don't panic at small changes. We understand that growth is uneven sometimes, and instead of resisting it, we walk through it together. Depth doesn't eliminate imperfection, it embraces it, and embracing has brought us closer than excitement ever did. Embrace flaws, become connection. We're not younger, just deeper. Letting seasons turn. We're not younger, just deeper. With lessons learned, not fragile, just refined. Sometimes I think about how easy it would have been to hold on to pride or fear or impatience, but each time we chose softness instead. That choice didn't feel dramatic, it felt quiet, and quiet choices repeated often enough become the architecture of lasting love. Architecture takes time. We're not younger, just deeper. As decades pass, we're not younger, just deeper. Letting moments last, not chasing youth, just choosing us. And if someday we look back at who we used to be, I hope we smile not with longing, but with gratitude, because every stage led us here, every lesson softened something sharp. Time didn't take away what mattered, it distilled it. Distilled love is clearer. We're not younger, just deeper. Always near. We're not younger, just deeper. Year by year, let time move forward. We remain aligned. We don't need to return to where we began. We've grown into something stronger. Not younger, just deeper. Still together, still together. So let time continue its work. Let it soften edges, reshape energy, shift perspectives. We won't resist it, because what we've built was never about staying young. It was about staying close, and closeness has only grown deeper. Love that learns to stay. It's different from love that simply arrives. Arriving can be sudden, bright, unpredictable. But staying requires patience. It requires listening, it requires choosing. Even when excitement softens into something steadier, time taught our love how to remain.
In the beginning, everything felt effortless. We were curious, eager, ready to discover each other. But curiosity alone doesn't sustain closeness.
Over time we encountered misunderstandings, tired evenings, moments when silence lingered longer than usual. And that's where love began, learning
not how to impress, but how to endure.
Endurance isn't loud, it is practiced quietly. We have a love that learns to stay, not drift away. We have a love that learns to stay, day after day. Not perfect, but present.
Staying meant adjusting expectations. It meant understanding that growth is not always synchronized.
Some days you felt stronger, some days I needed more patience. Instead of measuring who was ahead, we measured how we could support. Support became the language that replaced pride, and pride, when softened, made room for closeness.
Support shortens distance.
We have a love that learns to stay through shifting tone. We have a love that learns to stay, even when plans are thrown. No easy exits, just steady choice.
There were moments when leaving would have been simpler. Not dramatic departures, but subtle emotional distance. Withdrawing slightly, guarding words more carefully.
But we noticed it, and instead of letting distance grow, we spoke, we clarified, we apologized when necessary. That effort taught love something essential. The staying is active, active love remains awake. We have a love that learns to stay, year after year. We have a love that learns to stay, right here, no fear of change, just commitment. Time doesn't automatically secure closeness. It offers opportunity to listen more carefully, to react more gently, to understand history instead of reacting to mood. We took those opportunities slowly, imperfectly, but consistently. Consistency became the quiet proof that we were not temporary. Consistency creates safety. We have a love that learns to stay through calm and doubt. We have a love that learns to stay as life works out. Not rushing ahead, just remaining. Growing older together means allowing change without letting it divide. Careers shift, energy fluctuates, dreams evolve, but staying means adjusting without resentment. It means remembering that closeness is not automatic, it is maintained, and maintenance, when done gently, strengthens roots, roots deepen when tended. We have a love that learns to stay, letting seasons turn. We have a love that learns to stay, holding fast, not dramatic, just devoted. And if someday the world feels faster than us, if trends change, if priorities shift around us, I hope we remember that staying was always our quiet strength. Not because it was easy, but because it was chosen, chosen repeatedly, chosen consciously, chosen even when the mood was low or the day was long. Becomes permanence. We have a love that learns to stay, always near. We have a love that learns to stay, year after year. Let time keep moving. We remain. Love doesn't just happen, it is practiced, and practice over time turns into devotion. Love that learns to stay steady, steady, still here, steady, steady, still here, still here.
So let time continue its quiet lessons. Let it test patience and refine intention. We won't fear the shift because what we've built, was never about arrival alone. It was about staying. And staying is what we've learned to do best.
Older still ours, that's how I see the years ahead. Not something to fear, not something to outrun, but something we step into side by side. Time may move forward, but what we've built remains in our hands. We've watched the calendar turn more times than we realize. Days stacked into months, months into quiet seasons. Some chapters felt loud, others barely left a mark. But through all of it, there was a steady thread, a habit of returning to each other without hesitation. That thread didn't weaken, it tightened gently. What is shared doesn't disappear. With age we're older, still ours, no distance grown. We're older, still ours in a deeper tone. The years may pass, but we remain. I don't look at us and see something fading. I see something settling. The way we speak now holds more patience. The way we listen holds more intention. We no longer rush affection, we allow it, and allowing love to exist quietly has made it stronger than any dramatic promise. Quiet strength outlasts loud beginnings. We're older, still ours through shifting light. We're older, still ours through every night. No longing for before, just gratitude for now. There were moments when change felt uncertain. New responsibilities, new doubts, new directions pulling at attention. But instead of drifting, we adjusted. Adjustment didn't feel glamorous, it felt careful. Careful enough to keep distance from widening. Careful enough to keep warmth alive. Carefulness is a form of devotion. We're older, still ours year after year. We don't compare ourselves to earlier versions. We don't measure love by how unchanged it stays. We measure it by how willingly we adapt, by how quickly we forgive, by how naturally our hands find each other. After long days, time hasn't reduced closeness. It has layered it with meaning. Layered meaning creates permanence. We're still ours through calm and doubt. We're older, still ours as life works out. Not holding on to youth, just holding each other. There's comfort in knowing we don't need spectacle. We don't need constant intensity to reassure us. Reassurance lies in consistency, in the way we greet each other, in the way we check in quietly, in the way we soften when tension rises. Those patterns are ours, built slowly, kept carefully. Patterns of care become identity. Older, still ours, letting seasons turn. We're older, still ours, with lessons learned. Not younger, just deeper. Sometimes I think about how easy it would have been to let pride build walls or impatience widen gaps. But each time we chose to close them instead, that choice didn't feel heroic, felt quiet, and quiet choices repeated often enough shape something enduring. Endurance grows through repetition. We're older, still ours as decades pass. We're older, still ours, holding fast. No drifting apart, just drawing nearer. And if someday our pace slows, if evenings feel longer and mornings arrive more gently, I hope we look at each other with the same steady recognition. Not surprised by change, not resisting it, but honoring it, because every shift carried us forward together. Every year became another reason to stay. Staying repeated becomes belonging. And we're older, still ours, always near. We're older, still ours, year after year. Let time keep moving, we remain aligned. We don't need to promise loudly to prove devotion. We've lived it through habit, through patience, through quiet return. Older, still ours, still close. So let the years continue their gentle work. Let time soften edges and reshape routines. We won't resist it, because what we've built was never temperate. It was chosen, it was practiced. And after all these seasons, after all these changes, after all this time, it is still ours.